In today's True Crime and Tutorial Tuesday video, I'm talking about Abigail White whilst doing my makeup, so keep on watching to hear about her crimes and to see me create this makeup look. Today's case takes place in Kingswood, South Gloucestershire in the UK. OnlyFans model Abigail White, who called herself Fake Barbie, was aged 24 at the time this case takes place. Abigail was a mum of 3 kids that she had together with her partner Bradley Lewis, who was aged 22 years old. On March 25th, 2022, Bradley had been at a park with Abigail and other family, and he had told her, "I don't want to be with you anymore, Abby." Later that day, the couple had been out for the evening with friends to the Horseshoe pub on Siston Common. Abigail had drunk a bottle of wine, a Jaeger bomb and 2 rum and cokes, as well as taking a small amount of cocaine. At the pub, a witness spoke of how Abigail was obviously in a difficult mood. She was causing trouble with other people, getting into arguments and physical fights, and giving Bradley grief. Later at the pub, Bradley told a pal, "I'm dead when I get home." At about 7:50 p.m, they left the pub and went home. The pair argued after Abigail felt he had not stuck up for her during the row in the pub. Abigail said that she and Bradley were in between her hall and living room, and she went to the kitchen, possibly to walk away from a confrontation, and saw a knife on the side. She said she wanted to scare Bradley, picked the knife up and returned to the hall. She described holding the knife with the blade pointing down, like it had been when she'd previously stabbed him in the arm. She said she went up to Bradley and thrust the knife at his chest, but didn't realise that she had done that until afterwards. A neighbour heard her screaming and dialed 999, and when she entered the house she found Bradley lying on the kitchen floor with Abigail telling her that he had done it to himself. Abigail continued with the lies, phoning a friend and telling police that Bradley was responsible for the stabbing, but later pleaded guilty to manslaughter by reason of diminished responsibility. A post-mortem examination found Bradley suffered a single stab wound at least 7 centimetres deep to the chest, which had penetrated his heart. The court heard the fatal attack happened during a tumultuous period in Abigail's life, having lost a baby she was expecting and learning of Bradley's infidelity. The jury was told that their relationship was strained, with Bradley leaving the family home and staying with his mother. The court heard that the couple often rowed over being unfaithful to each other and were previously ordered to remain apart by social services. Abigail told the jury at Bristol Crown Court that it just happened and that she didn't want to hurt or kill Bradley. She accepted she had lied in the aftermath of stabbing Bradley, but denied she was trying to protect herself. A jury at Bristol Crown Court rejected her defence and found her guilty after 12 hours of deliberations following a 2-week trial. The judge jailed her for life with a minimum term of 18 years, telling her, "My view is you did intend to kill. Not only will your 3 children grow up without a father, but they will grow up knowing that their mother murdered their father." In the days before the incident, Abigail had stabbed Bradley in the arm, and on another occasion he told a friend in a phone call, "Help me, Sophie, she's trying to kill me. She's trying to stab me. She keeps beating me up. She's hurting me." A chilling audio message was sent to a friend prior to the stabbing that showed Abigail was willing to hurt her partner. Police have released recordings of voice notes Abigail made the day before the murder, where she spoke of hurting Bradley. In one of the recordings, Abigail said she fully believed she was capable of killing Bradley and feared she would end up in prison.
Obviously, I have no limit when I get angry, and obviously he said that I need help with that, because people are generally saying to me, one of you are going to end up dead, and I fully believe that I'm quite capable of killing him if he hurts me again, or I'm going to end up being in prison. But I don't believe a word that comes out of that boy's mouth. I have to beat the living daylights out of him for him to tell me the truth, and he still don't tell me the truth. He only tells me the truth when he thinks I'm going to kill him. When I get a knife out, when I stab him, I just don't get this kid.
Bradley's dad, Steve Lewis, has now told how the family feel like they still do not have justice following Abigail's sentence. Steve said, "We've got hundreds of friends, Brad did too, and there wasn't one person who thought she should get the verdict of manslaughter. People just wanted her, in a sense, to rot in hell. We're pleased with the verdict of murder, but we would have liked a few more years on top. It doesn't feel right, really. We're glad she's locked up, but we don't feel like we've got justice because we're the ones with the full life sentence. It's been horrendous. It's brought everything back to day one, and unfortunately, we feel like we're up against a brick wall all the time. We feel like we can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Steve revealed he fears Abigail could strike again when she's released, as a leopard doesn't ever change its spots. He blasted suggestions made in court that she was a loving mum to the couple's 3 children and vowed she will never see them again. Steve said that the model would just farm the kids out to family members and a childminder at any opportunity. He added, "She's admitted before that she might need some help and support, but she never takes it, and as everybody knows, Abigail White has to be in control of everything. And if she's not in control, she can be nasty to people. You have to live your life according to her, but we never did. We wouldn't bow down to her wishes. Unfortunately, my son did, because he loved every bone in her body and his children worshipped him. We've all wished that we did a bit more to get the relationship ended, but we all know full well that harm could have come to Brad whether they were apart or together, and that's the sad thing about it all."
Love, unfortunately, the woman that ended up taking his life. Brad would now be saying, "That's enough now, Dad, just shut up." And my famous saying I'd reply was, "That's my boy talking." I'm the father of Bradley Lewis, and I'd like to read this following statement outside the Crown Court today. Being here talking to you today is something that you never expect to happen to your family, but now that it has, being the kind of person I am and the remainder of Brad's family, it puts into perspective what other people go through, and my thoughts, as I always have, reach out to them. I do not feel that we have received justice, as we have got ourselves a life sentence. Brad's death has brought so much sadness, not just to his family, but the many people that knew him. Proof of this was shown by the hundreds of people that attended his funeral and events that were arranged in his memory. His popularity has also been shown by the memorials that are on display at various locations in South Gloucestershire. We are in a sense lucky as a family to still receive overwhelming support from everyone that knew Brad, Rachel, I, or any other members of our family, and I thank those people for that. There's obviously a lot of thanks to go to people, the police, CPS, DCI Ben Lavender and his team, and obviously our family liaison officer Mark, Lucy from Victim Support, and obviously at the end of the day the people that got us in a sense over the line are the prosecution. There's so much has obviously gone on, and it's going to be something that we're going to find very, very difficult to overcome. We also would like to thank, although we may have had our ups and downs, social services, Tracy and Tom, who at the end of the day have secured the fact that my grandchildren, Brad's children, will all be looked after until at least they're 18. And rightly or wrongfully, I have to thank Sherry and Tony. I know that's Abigail's mum and stepfather, because they're the ones who have taken on the children.
And obviously it's so sad for Brad's family and his children growing up without him and without their mother. I also wasn't able to find out whether the kids were at the home whilst the murder was taking place. Obviously it happened at Abigail's home, so I'm assuming they were maybe upstairs in bed, but even if they weren't at the house, that's still just such a horrific thing to do. But if they were, it's even worse, because if they've heard anything or possibly witnessed anything, you know, imagine how traumatic that could be for them. And in one of the articles that I read, it said that Bradley was a father of 4, so I'm assuming he had a child with another woman as well. And so if that's true, then it means that's a 4th child that's growing up without a dad. thanks to the actions of Abigail White. However, there wasn't tons of information online with this case, as it is a fairly recent one, and so it was only, I think, one of the articles that said that, so that's why I'm saying it might not be correct. The most recent update I could find in this case was that, writing in magazine Inside Time in the latest March edition, Abigail said that she was shocked that prisons don't allow partners into women's jails. She said that prison chiefs should take into account her needs and allow men to stay overnight. Writing from her cell at HMP Eastwood Park, a 400 capacity jail in Gloucestershire, Abigail said, "It has come to my attention recently, after being sentenced to 18 years, that prisons do not facilitate overnight stays for women prisoners and their partners. I think they should take into account and consideration our needs and allow men and women to have overnight stays together. I would like to know what other prisoners think about this, as quite a few girls here agree." Well, of course they're going to agree with you, aren't they? They're not going to disagree. And for her to have the sheer audacity to request people to take her needs into consideration when she's literally ended the life of someone that was literally the father of her children is just blatantly ridiculous, in my opinion. I really don't know what she's trying to achieve, whether she actually thinks that by her speaking out that they're going to make changes and accommodate her, because literally it's a bit mad, or whether she's just trying to stay relevant now that she's locked away. A prison service spokesperson said this week prisoners see family during daytime visits, which are supervised by staff, which is all they deserve. So guys, that's everything I have for today's case, everything for this video. I hope you guys have all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.